So today we are going to talk about ethical decision making. In our previous videos, we've talked about and looked at what is ethics, what is business ethics, and the various terms associated like values, morality, and all these. So today we are going to talk about ethical decision making, the characteristics of ethical organization, and various ethical theories. So if you talk about ethical decision making, Norman Vincent Peale and Kenneth Blanchard have suggested the following to conduct ethical business. Is the decision you are taking legal? If not, it's not ethical. Is the decision that you are taking fair, that is win-win, equitable risk and reward? If not, it's not, again, ethical. And the third, when you are hauled up for something seemingly unethical behavior, thou shalt not be ashamed when found. So if you're not ashamed of your actions, then that is the ethical decision making that you are doing. So if we look at the characteristics of an ethical organization, what are the characteristics? So they are at ease interacting with diverse internal and external stakeholders groups. They make the good of these stakeholder groups part of the organization's own good. They are obsessed with fairness. Their ground rule emphasizes that the other person's interest comes as much as their own. Responsibility is individual rather than collective, with individuals assuming personal responsibility for actions of the organization. And they see their activities in terms of purpose. This purpose is way of operating with members of the organization highly valued. And purpose ties organizations to its environment. So then what are the various ethical theories that have been propounded over the years? Let us look at these. So these theories that say that ethical is absolute or ethical is relative. Ethics is a normative science or it's a pure science. So ethical theories in business include consequentialist normative theories, normative themes like egoism, utilitarianism, and Kantian ethics, and the non-consequential normative theory, the non-consequentialist normative themes like duties, moral rights, and prima facie principles. So this is the classification. Normative theories include these two, consequentialist and non-consequentialist. A non-consequentialist is the deontological or the duty-based. And when we say consequentialist, it includes two, egoism and utilitarianism. And when we say non-consequentialist, it includes the Kantian ethics. So let us look at all these theories one by one. So the egoism theory first, it contends that an act is morally right if and only if it best promotes an agent's long-term interest. So whoever is taking that decision, if it promotes their own interest, then it is right. The view that associates morality with self-interest is referred to as egoism, when you are associating your morality with your self-interest. It makes use of self-interest as the measuring rod for actions performed. It intends to provide positive consequences to the party's interest without considering the consequences to other parties. So when we say egoism, philosophers distinguished between two types of egoism, personal and impersonal. Personal egoism, one should pursue his or her own long-term interests and not be dictated with what others should do. And impersonal egoism, everyone should follow their best long-term interests. So we are saying that everyone should follow whatever they think is best for them. So criticism is that it is not really a moral theory as it looks at its own best interests irrespective of nature of issues or circumstances. And it assumes that all actions are motivated by self-interest, and it ignores and undermines the human tendency to rise above the personal safety. And it ignores blatant wrongdoings like corruption, bribery, pollution, etc. because if it is serving your interest, it is right. So then comes the second theory, the utilitarianism. The proponents of the utilitarianism theory were Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill. The utilitarian principle says that an action is ethical, right, Ethically correct only if the sum total of the utilities produced by that act is greater than the sum total of utilities produced by any other act that could have been performed in its place. So, therefore, if you're saying that if, for example, there's something happening and you're supposed to take a decision, and there are various videos online you can go and search which are looking at various situations and trying to put you in a dilemma what we would do and what you would not do. So for example, there's an example of a bus which is going downhill, and there's a very fat person right up in front, and if you throw the fat person down in front of the bus, in front of the tire, you would A, kill the person, but B, you would save all the lives of all the people in the bus. So what should you do? So according to the utilitarian principle, because you're going to save more lives, that sum total of utilities produced by that action is more than not performing that action, and therefore putting to danger the lives of all the people in the bus. So that is how the utilitarianism theory works. The problems are utility is a psychological concept and is highly subjective. It differs from person to person, time to time, and so cannot be the basis of a scientific theory. Concerns the intractability to measurement that arise when dealing with certain benefits and cost. Example, how do you measure the value of life or health? Then, lack of predictability of benefits and cost. It cannot be predicted, then it cannot be measured. And lack of clarity in defining what constitutes benefit and what constitutes cost, especially with respect to social issues that are given different interpretations by different social or cultural groups. So for example, if you were talking about the throwing the person in front of the bus just to stop the bus going downhill, it would be a big benefit to all the people who would stay alive. But what is the cost to the family of the person you're going to throw out? So that's a huge cost for them. So from their point of view, again, you cannot say that the utilities are more. For them, the cost was more. So from their point of view, this action would not be correct. So therefore, there are certain issues related to the utilitarianism theory. Third comes the Kantian theory of ethics, or the ethics of duty. It was propounded by Immanuel Kant, and this theory introduces an important humanistic dimension to business decisions, which is to behave in the same manner that one would wish to be treated under the same circumstances, and to always treat other people with dignity and respect. So just like one of the principles of good ethical behavior, we said that irrespective of whatever the designation, the caste or the monetary, value of that particular person, if we are going to treat them with dignity and respect, that is required of their, as a human being, that is the best way. So here again, the Kantian ethics says that we would wish to be treated under the same circumstances. Similarly, we should treat other people. So apart from these normative theories, there are some more normative theories of business ethics, which are the stockholder theory, the stakeholder theory, and the social contract theory. Taking them up one by one, the stockholder theory expresses business relationship between stock owners and their managers running the day-to-day business of the company. And as per the theory, managers should pursue profit only by all legal, non-deceptive means. So everything that you're doing for the stockholders should be legal and non-deceptive, and you're supposed to pursue profit for the stockholders. The second theory here was the stakeholder theory. Now, this theory argues that a corporate success in the marketplace can best be assured by catering to the interests of all its stakeholders, the shareholders, consumers, customers, employees, suppliers, management, local community. So, stakeholder theory says that we should look at the interest of all these stakeholders, not just the stock owners. And this objective is achieved when corporations adopt policies that ensures an optimal balance between all the stakeholders. For example, Marico, the makers of parachute oil, they discovered a harmless tint in the oil for one of its production lines. The company withdrew the batch from the market, shut down the production line, but kept the workers on payroll and involved them in the investigation of the cause. In a short time, the workers located the cause, rectified it, and resumed production. The third theory was the social contract theory. This is based on the principles of social contract, wherein it is assumed that there is an implicit agreement between the society and any created entity such as a business unit. So here you are responsible for the whole society. So in which the society recognizes the existence of a condition that it will serve the interests of the society in certain specified ways. Now, the most fundamental ethical problems that managers of an international businesses face is the problem of moral diversity. Many oil companies, for example, operate in the United States, which professes that men and women should be treated as equal and where bribery is considered wrong, while simultaneously operating in several Middle Eastern countries where women are regarded as subordinate to men and bribery is widely accepted. So today we have talked about ethical decision making, characteristics of an ethical organization, and various ethical theories. So I hope you will pick up a theory that best describes under the given circumstances and helps make you the right decision. Thank you.